Idealism says that reality is shaped by the mind more than by physical objects. According to this view, ideas, thoughts, and consciousness come first. For example, a movie is just pixels and sound, but its meaning only exists when someone watches it and understands the story. Without a mind, the experience has no reality. This philosophy was introduced by Plato, who believed in a world of perfect ideas beyond the physical world. Later, Hegel expanded it by saying history and society move forward through human ideas and collective thinking. Here is the summary. Reality begins in the mind. Ideas shape the world. Meaning depends on perception. Realism. Realism argues that the world exists independently of what we think about it. Even if no one believes in something, it can still be true. Fire will burn you whether you believe in it or not, and gravity will pull you down even if you deny it. This idea comes from Aristotle, who focused on the physical world rather than abstract ideas. Thomas Aquinas later supported realism by arguing that truth is objective and can be discovered through reason and observation, not personal belief. Here is the summary. Reality exists independently. Truth is objective. Facts don't change with belief. Rationalism. Rationalism teaches that reason and logic are the primary sources of knowledge. Some truths can be known simply by thinking. For instance, you don't need to test it in real life to know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Logic alone is enough. This philosophy was developed by René Descartes, who believed doubt and logical reasoning lead to certainty. Spinoza also supported rationalism, arguing that reality itself follows logical rules, much like mathematics. Here is the summary. Reason over experience. Logic reveals truth. Mind discovers knowledge. Empiricism. Empiricism says that knowledge comes from experience and observation. We learn by interacting with the world, not by pure thinking alone. A child knows fire is hot because they feel its warmth, not because someone explained it logically. This philosophy was introduced by John Locke, who said the human mind is a blank slate at birth. David Hume later argued that even ideas like cause and effect are learned through repeated experiences. Here is the summary. Knowledge from experience. Senses are key. Observation over logic. Existentialism. Existentialism claims that life has no built-in meaning, and humans must create their own purpose. For example, being born into a certain family or country doesn't define your life. The choices you make do. Every decision shapes who you become. This philosophy began with Søren Kierkegaard, who emphasized personal choice, and was later developed by Jean-Paul Sartre, who famously said humans are condemned to be free and responsible for their actions. Here is the summary. No given meaning. Choice creates purpose. Freedom brings responsibility. Utilitarianism. Utilitarianism says an action is right if it produces the greatest happiness for the greatest number. Imagine a difficult choice where stopping one train saves 5 people but damages 1 car. A utilitarian would judge the action as right because the overall outcome is better. This philosophy was developed by Jeremy Bentham, who focused on pleasure and pain, and refined by John Stuart Mill, who added that higher forms of happiness matter more than simple pleasure. Here is the summary. Focus on outcomes. Maximize happiness. Majority well-being matters. Stoicism. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from controlling your reactions, not the world. When you are stuck in traffic, you can't control the road, but you can control your anger. Stoics believe emotional discipline leads to freedom. This philosophy was taught by Epictetus, a former slave, and practiced by Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled under pressure. Stoicism encourages acceptance, resilience, and calm thinking in difficult situations. Here is the summary. Control reactions. Accept what you can't change. Inner peace over emotions. Nihilism. Nihilism argues that life has no objective meaning or inherent value. Things only matter because humans agree they do. Money, for example, is just paper until society gives it value. Without that agreement, it means nothing. This idea is often linked to Friedrich Nietzsche, who warned that when traditional beliefs collapse, people may feel lost. However, he believed humans must create their own values instead of living in emptiness. Here is the summary. No objective meaning. Values are human-made. Morality is not absolute. Marxism. Marxism states that material and economic conditions shape society and human thinking. A factory owner and a worker can look at the same job and see completely different realities because their class positions are different. This philosophy was created by Karl Marx, who believed history is driven by class struggle. He argued that capitalism creates inequality and that social change comes through economic conflict between classes. Here is the summary. Economy shapes society. Class struggle drives history. Inequality is systemic. Postmodernism. Postmodernism questions the idea of absolute truth. It suggests that truth depends on perspective, language, and power. The same historical event can be described as a victory by one group and oppression by another. This philosophy was developed by Michel Foucault, who studied power and knowledge, and Jacques Derrida, who showed how language shapes meaning. Postmodernism encourages skepticism toward grand universal explanations. Here is the summary. Truth is subjective. Power shapes knowledge. Question grand narratives. Thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe for such kind of informative videos.